Hey everyone, before we get started today, we have some breaking news. Direct from PMRE headquarters, that's right, we got a coupon code. Upmarket 75 is the code. So if you want to come to Las Vegas in PMRE, November 8th and 9th, 2023, go to PMREconference.com. And when you check out, you put in that code Upmarket 75, you're going to get, guess what? $75 off. Do you know what $75 extra in your pocket can do for you in Las Vegas at South Point? That's like 10 cocktails right there. I mean, that's going to get you, at least through half of one night, right? PMREconference.com, code Upmarket 75. And that code is good through the end of September. So get on it now. Do not wait. Tickets are selling. You want to make sure you get in there on a really good deal too. The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business, online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the makeshift Upmarket studio in the beautiful Ojai Valley of Southern California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I am a CEO and the co-founder of Upmarket Media, and another co-founder not here today, Mark Corcoran, out gallivanting around, doing shoots, making us money. Producer Chelsea also helping make us money out there, answering the phones and doing some admin work. So I'm flying solo today, but I did want to take a sec before we get to our guest to mention PMRE, the Photography and Media for Real Estate Conference, coming up early November, I think November 7th and 8th in Las Vegas, Nevada, PMREconference.com. It is the place to be each year to learn and connect about and enhance your real estate media business. I cannot recommend it more highly to be there. So many good presenters, so much information coming at you, but more importantly, the chance to network with your peers, network with like-minded people, to know you are not alone out there in this industry, that not only, do you have a good old Upmarket podcast to keep you company, but you have all these people in the flesh to commiserate, to learn from, to grow together and connect with. I cannot recommend it more highly. Get your tickets now. They are selling. They're not sold out yet, but they are going to sell out. So please get in there and get your tickets. And one of the speakers at this year's conferences, and I'm pleased to have her here with us, is Jessie Congleton. She is a copywriter and a messaging strategist. And Jessie, the first thing I want to know is, what the hell is a messaging strategist?
That's a really good question. I just want you to know.
Excellent. I love asking good questions.
It's a great question. And it's funny because in marketing, there's a lot of just made up terms, right? But I don't think I made this up to make myself feel good. I think it's a real thing. And I know it's a real thing because a messaging strategy is something that a business needs in order to, it's like, here's the story we're going to tell the world about what it is that we do, right? If you don't develop a messaging strategy, what we see a lot of times are businesses who are just saying a bunch of crap. They're just throwing stuff out there, hoping it sticks. They're talking about how great they are. They are confusing people. They are rambling on and on. They're not getting to the point. And all of that just...
It sounds like Upmarket Media. This is great.
No, I didn't say that. Okay. I don't think so. But a messaging strategy is going to be something that is solid, that is clear, easy to understand, and that tells people how you're going to make their life better. And a messaging strategist is someone who can help you do that. And I use a framework that is the same framework that all storytellers use. It's in cinema and plays and all of that good stuff. It's a storytelling framework. And the reason why we use a storytelling framework for a messaging strategy is that people love stories. It's how our brains are wired as humans to learn. It's how we engage with other people. And it's how we take action. And you know what people love more than stories? They love stories about themselves. So that's why when we're
I wrote a whole movie. I wrote a whole movie with my name in the title, right? So I get it. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we make your customer is the hero of the story, not your business. And that's where a lot of businesses get off track. They start talking a lot about themselves. And we're telling a story about the person, your customer's journey. Mm-hmm. So as a messaging strategist, I help people come up with their brand message.
Well, I feel like all that makes a lot of sense to me. And I feel like we could use your help. So I had an idea. One of the things that you do when you work with a client is you actually kind of look at their website, and cause that's kind of our number one thing where new people are going to see us and learn about our messaging, learn about our story. Right.
Totally.
So could you go through here on the podcast, the upmarket.media, our website, and kind of give us some pointers on, I mean, obviously it's amazing and there's probably not much we would want to change, but maybe if there's like one little thing on the, footer that needs to change, you could tell us. Would you be willing to do that?
I would love to do that. I think that's a great idea. And you're totally right. Like once you develop, this brand message or brand story, that's all great and good. But now how are you going to implement it? What is it? What are you going to put out there? And always the first thing you do is update your website to reflect that messaging. So when companies come to me and they often say, we hate our website, or it's just not showing the value that we do, people don't understand it or whatever, it's usually because they don't have that strong message. And I can tell that by looking at a website. So I am going to look at yours and I'm going to be totally.
Okay. And so, and just for our audience, obviously it's an audio podcast, but we do have our video feed on YouTube. So this would be a great time to maybe check that out, because we will have the screen share there on the YouTube version of this podcast, where if you just search Upmarket Podcast on YouTube, you will find us.
Perfect. And I'll try to be a little descriptive too. If you're like, don't look it up if you're driving or something like that.
Yes.
I'll tell you
exactly.
What I'm looking at.
Most people listening to this are out driving or out shooting, so they're not going to be able to.
Right. But I'll tell you what I'm looking
along.
at. And first of all, so I have it pulled up here. And first of all, right off the bat, it's gorgeous. And I love that because, there's,
all right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful website. You have video playing in the background, which is perfect because it's kind of showcasing the goods right away. So bravo and well done on that, especially in your, what you do in your industry. It's such a visual, thing that you offer people. So I love that it looks great. Another thing that I noticed off the bat is that although there's video playing in the background, your website is not messy. You don't have tons and tons of text everywhere. It's very clean. It's easy to understand. My eye goes in the places it's supposed to go. So I applaud. I love it. Yeah. And one thing, when we talk about messaging or, brand messaging, a lot of that has to do with, is it clear? Is it easy to understand? People don't necessarily buy the best products or services. They buy the thing they understand the fastest. So here, just looking at your header, it's not cluttery. I'm not using a lot of mental calories to figure things out. So A+ so far. So you heard of that failure sandwich, right? It's where you do a positive and then a negative.
I eat those all the time. I don't know. It's like what I have for lunch every day.
We'll get into that. I'm just kidding. So great job. It looks great. One thing I would say is when we're looking at the header, which is what everyone sees when they first pull up your website, before they scroll above the fold, it has to do 3 things for us immediately. It has to tell people exactly what it is that you do, exactly how you're going to make their life better, and exactly how they can buy it. So in using that framework to judge what you have here, I love that you chose to make the header, which is the main copy on the website, the bigger copy. It says, level up your marketing and win more listings. That is a perfect statement of how you're going to make people's lives better. I love that. I love using a header as success language. So
much love.
I know. It's great. I'm impressed. Now your subheader here, which is right underneath that statement of that big benefit statement, says Ventura, Santa Barbara, and surrounding counties. Explore more. So I love a header that talks about success language, how you're going to make their life better. And I love a subheader that says exactly what it is that you do. So down here, you have the areas in which you serve, which your audience is going to say, okay, yep, those are my areas. But I would love to see some copy that says what exactly it is that you do. So if you do, real estate media, or if you do photos and videos for real estate agents in Ventura, Santa Barbara, surrounding counties, so a little bit more about what it is that they're getting.
Right.
Now, can they figure that out? Yeah, they can figure it out. They can look, they can see, up here, I'm looking at the navigation.
Our clients are overall pretty dumb. So I think the easier we make it for they're realtors. I mean,
wow.
Well, look, we gotta aim for the bottom of the barrel.
I would not say that. Oh my word. I do not support that message, but I will say that realtors.
Well, you don't work with realtors.
I do work with realtors. That's why I can't. I will say that they are busy and they have a lot thrown at them. And so if they have to dig around to try to find things, you might lose them. You got 1.8 seconds to, reel them in. So that I might flesh out that subheader a little bit. But other than that, now to our third point about tell us exactly how we can buy from you. You have a call to action button down here, which I love it. It's right in the middle. It's underneath your header and subheader copy, but it says explore more. And I don't think that that's bad, but do they really want to explore, or do they want what you just told them that they could have, which is more listings to level up their marketing? And you have this
book now or order now, maybe.
I would be more bold with that call to action for sure. You have it in the upper right-hand corner. It says book now. And I love that. I love it in the upper right-hand, and I love it here. If you wanted to offer them, like book more is a direct call to action. And then that's kind of like, will you marry me? And if you don't want to come off so committal or like high pressure, you could have a transitional call to action, which would be like explore our packages or something like that, which would be you put these two buttons next to each other horizontally. You make this one bold and you make the explore packages, translucent or something like that. So that's an option.
Right. Okay.
And so there was a couple of tweaks that you could make. Overall, though, I'm not panicked about your website. I think especially this header looks great. I love it. Residential and commercial real estate marketing. So it was under there. So I just scrolled, for those of you who are driving, I just scrolled down a little bit, and the next piece of copy I see says residential and commercial real estate marketing. If I were you, I might, put this statement kind of up here as your subheader with the areas. But now that I'm scrolling, I see that. So, right off the bat, you're showing services, and it's again, very simple, very clear. Photography, video, Matterhorn 3D, which is great. You have very brief descriptions underneath just to give them a taste. And then these are clickable in case they want to see more. One suggestion, and again, I like this. I like how you're showing them the goods right away. You're not beating around the bush. You're saying this is what we do. They can see it. It's clean. It's clear. One thing that you might want to explore is having a small, instead of using this prime real estate to say services. You see what I did there? Prime real estate? That was stupid. You could, it was. You could use a story technique, which is to jab at their problem a little bit, right? So when we're telling a story in marketing, we're saying, okay, this is what our main character wants. This is the solution we're giving our main character, and this is how they're going to get it. That's like almost kind of like a trailer to a movie. You kind of are seeing like, okay, this is kind of what's going to happen. But when you go and watch the movie, there's a hook. There's something happens, something goes wrong. And so if you wanted to have a little statement here that poked at your audience's main problem that would lead them to your solution, what is that kind of like external problem that they're facing in regards to what you offer them? Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, their problem is they don't have anything for their marketing. I mean, and they're not able to get more listings because they have shitty marketing because they've taken photos on their own,
if
whatever.
You could have a statement
I think is their main problem. I don't really know.
Pokes at that a little. That's a little bit philosophical. That says something like lack of good marketing shouldn't hold you back, or something like that. I'm totally making this up right now, but if we did the messaging strategy together, or like getting, this could be a differentiator for you too, but getting quality visuals doesn't have to be confusing, or whatever it is that's kind of like, lets them know that you see the struggle that they're going through. You can empathize with them a little bit. You can get in on their level. They feel like you understand them a little bit more. And then it sets you up to solve that problem with these services. If we don't talk about their problem, then we are less likely to be the ones that they trust to solve it. So
right.
That could be something that, we would flesh out if we did some messaging work together. Is there some kind of problem that we could bring up that,
right.
would resonate?
And so where would you bring this up? And so I do, we don't really need to get into the nitty gritty, I guess, too much more of our exact website,
right.
But, just even philosophically, like, what you're saying is like, we want this to be clean, but then where do we put these messages? I mean, and how are we communicating that in a way that is still kind of minimal?
Well, that's part of where this messaging strategy comes in. If you were to work like me or someone like me, it would take several hours of fleshing out all of the, everything down to its core, all the bad ideas, all the good ideas, and to whittle down at the most simple phrase that we can say that would hit somebody in the gut and make them want to act. So yeah, you come up with, and you work with a strategist and then a copywriter, you come up with these short, snappy sentences that are in your tone and voice of your business that resonate with your audience, and you lay it out on the website just like you would in a story. It makes sense in a story to say, hey, there's a character here and they want this, but the problem is this. And it's making them feel like this inside. And along comes a guide, which is you all, who is going to help solve their problem. That's a very, we feel like I have to, put so little copy on my website for it to make sense, but that's not necessarily true. You do want to put as little as possible, but you still can make the point of understanding their pain. So having a small section right here, or turning, using this real estate here where it would say residential and commercial to make just one small statement about their problem. And then having services here is fine. I like that a lot. For a brand who's less visual than you all and a little bit more conversational, could have a whole sentence there that says, that's why we offer services that make your life easier and bring you in more leads, or something like that. I wouldn't recommend that necessarily for you all because of, the nature of your business, but so many different ways, depending on your industry, your specialty, your niche, where you can express your story in different ways on your website. And you know what? Can I show you one more thing? Because I looked at something where you have your services here. So listener who is driving, I'm clicking on their navigation. I'm going to the photography page. And this is where you're going a little bit more in depth about your specific services. And here you have a header, and you are able to put more text. So you talk about your team of real estate photographers have captured thousands of properties. This is a really good spot for that problem too. Rather than starting off talking about how great your team is, you could start off by saying something like, I don't know, whatever it is, the problem that you solve, where it's hard to,
Sure.
In this fast-paced market, it's hard to know how to, whatever, I don't know what it is. But that could be a good spot.
Right. So yeah, kind of on the more individual pages, have those be not text heavy, but you can get into it a little bit more and kind of keep that landing homepage cleaner and more minimal.
Absolutely.
Is that kind of where we're getting at?
For sure.
Well, because one of the thoughts that came to my mind is the less text you have, then can that then be harder for SEO? Because that's one of the things that we need to think about when we're designing our website, right? Is obviously we have our message, but then we also want to make sure that people see our message and make sure that our website ranks, highly, on the Google searches, right?
Absolutely. So is your question, is it harder for SEO when you have less text?
Well, kind of. I mean, my understanding of SEO is that you want to have certain keywords and, all that bullshit,
Well, here's my take on it. Now, I'm not an SEO specialist, strategist, whatever, but my take is your pages that the reader needs to understand need to be clear and understandable and relatable. So do not get on your homepage and muddy up your homepage with a bunch of keywords. Bury them a little bit in some of these descriptions. Bury them a little bit in FAQs. Put them on your about page. Put them a little bit deeper so that it still counts. But especially you want to use your headers of every section for that reader. They need to be able to scan your website in seconds. And if they go down and just read the headers, they should be able to understand what it is that you do quickly. So
Okay.
SEO, again, you have to talk to a super specialist about that, but we're writing for people who are actually going to buy your product. And so that's where that copy needs to connect with them when they do land on your page.
Okay. And then it is going to be important probably on every single page. There's got to, on every single page, should there be a call to action, and should there be like a button to like book now? I mean, for us, we have it on our header on every page. So, we have it's services and then pricing, the crew, blog, contact, book now. And so that's available on every single page. I mean, but should we also have a button somewhere on that page, book now?
Absolutely.
And I think if you scroll down on our services page on the photography, if you go down to the bottom, I think there's a book now after all the beautiful photos.
Should we have a button on every page? Is that where you left off? Okay.
Yes. Sure.
Yes. The button is like your cash register. So don't hide your cash register, right? So don't make people go looking for a way to give you money. That's one. If we're looking at websites, there's three kind of, I have all these like 3-step things, but another thing, big basic messaging principle is don't make it hard for people to give you money. If they go to your photography page, read that I'm looking at right here, and they read about this, they look at it. Yes. Put that button, put it right here under this text that says, book now, or
that talks
about photography.
I think we do have a book now button, but I think it's underneath all the photos.
And I think
so
put it in both places. I mean, if they want to scroll down,
you can't have it too many places.
It says contact us.
Oh, it's contact us.
Yes. So I would be bold again and say, pick your package or book now or whatever. And then give them the option, have questions, contact us, but make that less prominent, not your main call to action.
Right. Because we don't really want to talk to them. We just want them to book.
Exactly. They don't. And
I mean, let's be honest.
And they don't really want to talk to you either. They just want what you told them in the beginning, more leads and to up-level their business, right? They don't want to chit chat with you. Of course, some of that is necessary, but they want what they came here to get. So give it to them.
Give the people what they want.
Can I give you some praise on your pricing page as well? A failure sandwich?
Yes.
I really like how you are upfront about your pricing, especially, with when you're talking B2B. That's so important. B2C is a little bit different, but if you're supporting a business,
B2B meaning business to business.
If you're,
I'm aware of lingo. It's really cool. I'm just pointing that out.
So smart, for real. That is not anything I made up. That's a real term. But yes, if you're supporting another business and they have to come out of their business expenses to get whatever it is that you offer, find a way to package that up for them. Be very clear about what they get and how much it costs. And make it easy. Again, you have, said these are our most popular services. We bundled them up in order to save you money. That's a lot of success and benefit language. Not only is it easy, it's going to save me money. It's very easy to understand. You have bullet points or checklists. These are your friends, you guys. A bullet points or a checklist beats out a big, long paragraph of copy almost every time. So think about how you can say things fast and in a bulleted, scannable way. So you've done great here. So bravo.
Oh, thank you. And so Jessie, are there any more general advice on our website that you can give that is not so specific to our website? Now that we stopped the screen share, people driving, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I mean, it just be simple and tell the story. But I mean, I guess, are there any other kind of rules of thumb that you have that you want to get across really quick?
I do. Okay. So I mentioned a couple of them. Don't make it hard for people to give you money, meaning be very clear, very to the point. Stay away from buzz type words that sound super smart. Nobody cares, right? At like a third grade reading level where it's just very clear. This is a big one. Always be answering the question, why the hell should I care? That is subconsciously what your reader is. That's a brain energy saving device that is built into us, especially in this consumerism world where we have all these ads. We could never consume all of that stuff because it would wear us out. So our brain is constantly filtering out things that we don't need to care about. So if you're writing a headline or your entire website copy, you have to filter that through. You have to ask yourself, why the hell should I care? And it's coming from your reader. So if you say, we offer, 3D blueprints on every listing, why the hell should I care? So hook that onto that sentence or on the front of a benefit so that you sell more homes and bank more money or whatever it is. Right. Always think about why they should care to read it. And another quick thing I would say is pay attention to your differentiator. And that can be anything from what your process is, whether your process is very easy and quick and simple for people to get involved with. Maybe that is, the quality of your service, which is kind of hard to back up. So I kind of steer people away from that often, just kind of show it rather than look at how good I am. Process, whether that is specialty, we specialize in this or that can be a differentiator, but set yourself apart. Pee on your territory. That sounds gross, but this is less gross.
Oh, I love peeing on territory.
Stick your flag in the ground and say, this, if you need this, you're in the right place because this is what we do and this is how it's going to make your life better.
Wow. Wise words, I think. So one of the differentiators of this podcast is that we have a social media sidebar. Do you have any other podcast that you listen to that has a social media sidebar? I don't think so. So stick around. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back with the social media sidebar. And I think Jessie's going to have some good social media tips. And then we're going to come back and we're going to hear about what she's going to be talking about. Already, I'm like, there's so much value here. I can't imagine. I imagine that the hour you're going to speak at PMRE is going to be chock full of value. We're going to hear about that. And then we're going to end with action items. Come on, action items, baby. All right. We'll be right back. Hey, look, not going to lie. We know there's been a little controversy lately about Aereo, but what remains the same is that Aereo is a fantastic platform that we use day in and day out. Aereo makes it easy for you to grow your real estate media business. It's an all-in-one solution that lets you schedule, deliver, communicate, invoice, all these different things you can do with your clients, all from Aereo. It's an all-in-one solution to grow your real estate media business. It's online at aereo.com. And if you use the code Upmarket, any new user gets 15 free bonus listings at checkout. Check out aereo.com to see what they can do for you. Don't you want to get in on the mania that is sweeping the nation? The floor plan mania. Oh yeah, we all do. How can you not get swept up in floor plans? I know I have. In fact, I have a little bit of a problem with floor plans. And one of my main suppliers is Second Floor App. Oh, Second Floor App. The coolest, quickest, and most economical way to make floor plans for your client. They have a super cool interface. You just walk through that house, you can make a floor plan, and it is ready as you are watching it. So you are on site. You can deliver that floor plan to your client. I mean, how much quicker can you be? You cannot be any quicker than Second Floor App. I mean, if somehow it was just magic, you didn't have to do anything, I guess that'd be quicker, but Second Floor App is basically magic, but not really. It's a really cool technology. So there's no magic to it. Just a lot of hard work and labor from those guys at Second Floor. Anyway, secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You're going to get a free month if you go there. I mean, why wouldn't you want a free month? I want a free month. I love free months. I wish I had a free month of rent. Second Floor, can you hook me up with that? No? Okay. Well, I think our listeners will settle for a free month of floor plans. secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. Oh man, do you like social media? I love social media. And if you want to interact with Upmarket Pod on social media, guess what? We're Upmarket Pod across all social media, meaning Instagram and Facebook, because I still haven't got any of the other ones yet for this pod. And then, look, check out we were just talking about our website, but it's upmarket.media. is the URL. You can find us, check out what we're doing. And also we're upmarket.media on Instagram if you want to follow the flagship company and see what we're doing on the day-to-day and how we're, going to put into practice all the stuff we're learning from Jessie today. So Jessie, on social media, where can we find you?
I am on Instagram, and it's really creative handle. It's just my name, Jessie Congleton.
Okay.
So that's also my website. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
I'm
good.
everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
So if LinkedIn. I know that on my literally on my list. I'm slacking myself to-do lists all the time now, and it's like get a LinkedIn, and I like have it on my list like every week, and I never do it. So I'm gonna have to do that. And Jessie, I'm gonna link with you once I get on there. Is that okay?
Totally. LinkedIn is a blast. You will love it. It's so fun. No.
Really? It seems like the okay. Yeah, because I was like, that seems like the dorky one. Like I don't because I'm like a cool guy. I don't know. You may not get it because we haven't met in person, but I'm like super cool.
It's dorky, but I'll tell you what. I love a good dork you can learn so much from LinkedIn. So I'm kind of newish to it too, but I'm learning a lot from smart people. So yeah. Oh, you actually learn things on LinkedIn? Yeah, I love to hear people's thoughts
I don't know. Totally. I just have never used it.
It's Facebook's dorky nephew that, is a workaholic, I guess.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess that's me. So what do you have like any kind of words of wisdom about social media in general for your marketing and for your messaging?
Well, I mean, yeah, we can talk in general terms here. When it comes to again, the first thing I usually do with my clients is develop this messaging strategy. From there, we do the website and make sure that's good to go. Other like sales funnel type stuff, like a lead generator, some welcome emails, good things like that. And then we can move on to social media because, if we have the sales funnel set up, how are we driving people there? What's getting them, to come? And social media is a part of that. And I guess my number one thing for social media is to have a loose plan that makes your post a part of something else. Sometimes we have these random, stagnant, whatever posts. Again, we're just saying whatever we feel, throwing spaghetti against the wall, hoping it works, being sad when we only get 2 likes. But if we have a kind of content strategy, which is like, okay, here's my brand message. These are kind of like the 5 pillars that I'm going to talk about. And then what are the 20 things in each of those pillars that are things people actually want to know and that I can either add value to their life, I can educate them, I can give them something, what are these like topics? So running through all of those, getting all of that fleshed out for the next 12, 9 months, whatever, at least loosely. You can always adjust it, but getting these topics of what do people, what do they care about? What do they want to know from you? And having a plan would be my first thing. And also have it match the other assets and media that you're putting out there. So if you say to yourself, okay, part of our marketing plan is we're going to do 2 newsletters a month, we're going to do 2 blogs a month, we're going to do a LinkedIn article. Have all of those things be friends, holding hands. If you write a blog, you should be able to harvest 5 to 10 social media posts out of that, little points out of that you can point to. You can do a carousel with this point, you can do a story with this point, so that you are driving people to continue to consume your content, whether that be if their first point of entry is your Instagram post and then they go read the blog, or if they search up the blog and that brings them to your newsletter. They all should be friends working on it, working with each other, making kind of the same point, and it has to point back to your messaging.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Let me tell you what.
I know. That's what I was like. This is all so smart. And I'm like, and I was thinking, and I was just in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, because the podcast social media needs so much help, and I'm like, I'm not freaking doing that.
Let me tell you what. These types of like content campaigns take such a ridiculous amount of copy and strategy and all of that stuff. So there's a couple of ways around that. one way around it is say, I don't want to do all this crap and hire somebody else to do it. That's one way. Another way around it is to, just scale it down a little bit. So whether you say, okay, I know that my podcast, social media needs to be better. It needs to be more strategic. We need to be tighter or something. You can micro that down and start building out a little strategy just around that piece. So, having a little messaging around that, making a plan for 1 month, 2 months, something like that. But what happens when you start to do those little short-term, yes, it gets some stuff out, it gets some stuff churning, but then you find yourself at the end of every 30 days going like, oh crap, what do I say this month?
Now what?
So, But
I know I gotta plan out posts. I don't know. I just like, oh, there's a new, not even every time there's a new episode do I actually post something, but my editor's been doing, Bethany's been doing reels for us. So that's good. I've been putting those out there, but I need to do more of the day-to-day stories. I did one the other day about the earthquake. Cause we had the hurricane, and the earthquake was the epicenter was like 2 miles from my house. So there was a lot of shaking going on, but we're all fine. So all the team is fine here, but it was, thank you. Yeah. Yes. It would be better than not being fine. Yeah, my buddy lost like $5,000 worth of wine in his wine shop.
Okay,
that was, I think, the biggest casualty.
Though.
So that was tragedy. Yeah, that was tragic.
That's horrible. But you can get a little bit overwhelmed to be like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. But also another tip is just show up where your audience is. So it kind of surprises me, Reed, that you're not on LinkedIn because, again, being B2B, business to business, a lot of your audience might be cruising LinkedIn. I don't know. Maybe you might want to show up there.
I think Mark's on. My business partner Mark is on LinkedIn. I think if you get to know me a little better, you'll know why I'm not on LinkedIn because I don't know. I'm not a joiner.
Okay.
I'm too much. Okay. I'm like a weird. I'm a closet weirdo. So it's like I don't know. I would have to. If I was on LinkedIn, that would be like admitting to myself that I'm like a businessman or something. I see. And it's like that's just weird. Jesse. I'm a creative, and creatives aren't
creative. Show up how you are. Don't
No, and I do think, and all joking aside, I think part of the psyche on that, and that's why I haven't done LinkedIn, because I've seen it that is not for people like me. And so I've had to come in the course of owning this business, in the course of actually scaling our business, in the course of doing this podcast, I've had to come to I've had a journey. The hero's journey, so to speak. And I've had to come to some realizations about myself and to be like, oh, I guess I am an entrepreneur. I guess I am a business person. And so, but I think some of those vestiges of me thinking of myself as just the, creative who doesn't have to do any of those things, get in the way of me then actually doing those things that will actually help me grow and help me be, reach my goals and all that stuff. So I should be on LinkedIn. And I will talk to my therapist.
Just think about it. You don't have to sell your soul to it. And believe me, I've been there before. It is, I'm a creative. I'm like, no, I'm a writer. I don't want to,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Sell things. Like that was a big thing for me to get over as a copywriter. I'm this writer. I want to build connection with audience and I want to read things that they want to read. But now I'm going to have to sell something. That sucks.
Right.
But
right. You're like, I just want to write a novel. Why am I?
But really,
exactly.
What you're doing is if you just change the mindset into, I'm showing up where my audience is and I'm helping them solve their problems. That's what you're doing. You don't have to be somebody you're not. You're just adding value to the lives of your audience.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I also have to just get over myself and just also realize, well, it's, and part of it is too, it's like, well, I haven't even been on LinkedIn. I don't know what it's all about. It could be awesome. So, I just have these biases in my head. And also, just I don't have a lot of time, whatever. Okay.
I get that.
Oh, I guess. Okay. Listen, this is enough social media talk. I'm done. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about things that are fun in the next bit. So stick around. A lot more with Jessie. Okay, I'm getting all geared up here. It's going to be November. I'm going to be at South Point Hotel and Casino, walking around, doing my thing. And then I'm going to see some presenters. And Jessie, you're one. What are I assume you're excited about being there. And what are you going to be talking about on stage this year?
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I'm going to be talking about how I see almost every day, which are business owners coming to me and they're frustrated because they're spending time, energy, money into marketing, and they feel like they're getting no traction. They're not getting the results that they're after. They know that they do good work. They're like, listen, we serve our clients well. We know what we do. We just don't know how to say it. And it's whatever we're doing is not working. And so when I, meet someone like that, I say, you're not alone, because almost everyone tells me that. And all that we need to do is we need to develop this brand messaging story around, what it is that you do, so that we can tell them what you do, and then we can write copy for the exact words we're going to use to tell it. So on stage at PMRE this year, I'm going to talk about the importance of developing a brand messaging story. I'm going to kind of break it down, how it works. And I'm also going to give you little pointers of how to use it, how to use that technique immediately, how to write yourself a one-liner, which is what you can say when people say, oh, what do you do? And you don't rattle off like a big long thing where someone's eyes glaze over and they don't care. Or two, the other option you say is, oh, I'm a real estate photographer, and they don't care about that either. So teaching people how to use the framework of story in order to tell them what it is that you do so that they care and that they listen, help you stand out in the marketplace.
Okay. Well, what do I do?
Well,
that's what I want to know. What's my one-liner? Yeah. You've been on my website. You've talked to me for 37 minutes now.
So
lay it on me, Jessie.
So part of, developing this brand story, which I'll walk through on stage there's 7 parts to it. And I'll tell you those right now. 1, there's a main character of the story. And newsflash, it's not you. No, it isn't. Oh, there's a main character. That's step 1, who wants something. That's step 2. But there's a problem. There's an external problem usually. There's an internal problem, which is how that's making them feel inside. And there's a philosophical problem, which is why that's just plain not okay. As a business owner, you have to be able to articulate how you're going to solve all 3 of those problems, not just the thing that's right in front of them, but the thing, how they feel inside and why that's just unjust in the world. You have to develop that. So there's a character who wants something, but there's a problem. But they need a solution, and a guide comes along. This is where you come in, Reed, who is going to, the guide comes along. So you're thinking like Yoda would be the guide in the story. We're thinking Gwenda the Good Witch in the Wizard of Oz.
I'm like a handsome Yoda. I'm a handsome Yoda.
Yes. Or Gwenda the Good Witch in the Wizard of Oz. You're coming along and giving someone a plan. That's the next piece of the story. They're going to get a plan, a step 1, 2, 3. And that plan is either you're going to call them to action, and that's going to lead to either success, or that's going to lead to their failure. And at the end of the story, they're going to have this character transformation. As a business owner who has something to offer people, you have to come up with all the pieces to that story, put it together cohesively, and use that in the different avenues of your marketing to, again, get people's attention, let them know exactly what you do, how you can make their life better, and tell them how they can buy the product. But a pared down version of that is a one-liner.
Yeah, I was going to say, that seems like a lot for one sentence.
That's a lot for one sentence. So if you're doing one sentence, the term one-liner, again, not something I made up. It's kind of deceiving because it's 3 parts.
It's almost more of an, it's almost more the elevator pitch.
They're literally interchangeable.
Yeah.
And that's. So it's not a tagline. So it's not that short, but it's not exactly one sentence either.
Okay.
So how you develop this is you follow this framework: problem, solution, success. So you have to, articulate kind of what's that problem that you're solving for your audience. Solution, you have to articulate exactly how it is I'm going to help you. And that success is how I'm going to make your life better. So I just worked with, I know this is not what you do, but we don't have time to go all up into your brand messaging, but working with a caterer who specializes in corporate events, right? And she does these she has a package of like these breakfast, lunch, and learn deals. So if someone were to go up on the street and ask her like, hey, what do you do? And she'd be like, oh, I'm a caterer for corporate events. Boring. Nobody gives a crap about that, right? Maybe if you book, maybe if it's her exact audience and you're like, oh, tell me more. Mm-hmm. But instead, what she's going to do is she's going to develop this messaging problem, solution, success, where she says, you know how corporate events are boring and nobody really wants to be there in the morning, or something like that, right? I put together, I'm making this up now. I put together, I make it easy for corporate event planners to engage with their audience.
To make it so.
Exactly. Right. So she's going to come up with a problem.
Through food.
Exactly. Corporate events are boring. The solution is you need really good food. The success is your attendees are going to pay attention and learn what you meant to teach them. So all of that is like trash that just came out of my mouth, right? It's just trash words. So if I was working with someone, we would develop that one-liner into a cohesive, basically one sentence where it would grab the reader's attention. The reason why we start with problem is it's that hook. They're like, yes, I do know how that is boring. Yes, I do understand that. Yes, I have felt that pain.
Right.
Then they're keyed in to hear your solution. Then you close that story loop with the success of how everything's going to come together and be a happy ending.
Right. So for us, it would be something along the lines of, we help busy realtors by giving them premier marketing materials so that they can win more listings.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
You say that. Oh, you could also say perfect.
I'm going to skip your session to PMRE. I already got it. This is great.
Don't do that. Otherwise you won't know these other secrets that I have to tell you that I'll think of.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the secrets that I'll make up between now and November. But something like that, right? I mean, where, it's just like you're like they're, and we frame it as a realtor. They're busy. So, we give them the materials. They get more listings because that's what they want. That's what we help them do. Or more, more business. I mean, it doesn't have to be listings, right? Because we help them get buyers too.
Exactly. So. You can get, specific, you can have several different one-liners for if you have slightly different audiences. If you have say commercial or residential, you can have a little one-liner developed for that. Maybe the problem is slightly different. So you can have one in your pocket for who you're talking to or the product that you offer. If you were selling these, is it a Matterhorn? Is that what it's called? These
Matter. It's Matterport.
not the ride at Disney. Okay, got it. But if you wanted to develop a one-liner around that, your problem could be and I'm making this up too, 60% of people, listings are 60% more likely to sell when they have these things. That's why we make it easier for realtors to have, so you can get really specific and have a bunch of one-liners for audience or product. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, that's smart because I think you do want to have in your pocket how to sell some of those, how to sell those services, because it's like, okay, okay, we can help you, right? And they get in our ecosystem, but then we also want to maximize our revenue or maximize the help we give them by giving them more, more product options that then they can buy for us for more money and make us more money.
Exactly.
Which is the ultimate goal. Or no, the ultimate goal is to help your clients, and then making money is a byproduct. I get it. Yes. I know. I really believe that. Oh boy. All right. So, okay. So you're going to do that. And then, anything, what else are you going to talk about? So, I mean, or is that kind of it? I mean, are you going to go through that, really hone in on how we can pitch ourselves in one sentence?
Basically we're going to talk about the importance of brand messaging, right? Laying that out for people so that they can understand. We're going to help people. Well, hopefully if we have enough time, we'll do that one-liner exercise where I can guide everyone through, give you a little sheet that you can start filling out. And then maybe we'll share some out loud. And then I can give pointers and tips to whoever wants to share one, can help polish it up for them a little bit live. And then the other thing that we can talk about is if you're sitting in the audience there at the conference and going like, yeah, I'm just saying stuff. I know that we have a good product, but we're saying things I just don't know how to write. I don't know how to get the words right. You can reach out to me. If you want to go to my website, I do the same thing that I just did for Reed just now. I do free 5-minute website reviews where if you send me your website and tell me a little bit about yourself, I will make a Loom video of myself going through your website, talking about what could be improved, giving you pointers, kind of just what I did. And I can just email that to you. It's again, that's like kind of what we talked about in the beginning. There's like, we're not getting married or anything. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go through your website and give you a couple little, no pressure. If you are like, okay, Jessie, great. I don't want to write any of this crap. Then you can get a hold of me and we can talk about what it would look like to have, some help building your brand messaging and building that copy that goes along with it so that your audience can engage with what you do and be inspired to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, what I kind of see in the beauty of you kind of being at the conference is like so many of us are in the same boat, right? Gosh. We're all in the same industry and we all kind of have, our stories are, every story is a little bit different, but we're all kind of essentially telling the same story. And so like we're going to be able to, at least have some general tips and some general, more specific to our industry tips on how to message that. And then you can kind of massage it, to really more fit your voice and your stuff. But I think it's going to be, I'm excited because I think it's going to be super helpful. And then you're going to be hanging out for like 2 days, right? So there's so much time for like, there's so much time for networking that I know you're going to be able to, if you're there and you do have questions for Jessie, not only at every presentation, Brandon does the, I can't remember what it is, but you can just text in questions, and then there's a Q&A with every for every presenter. So you have a chance to ask questions there. And then obviously then too in networking time, I'm sure Jessie will be around and be very open to speaking and answering questions. So I think, it's going to be such a great value add for the conference. And I mean, even I think, just looking at the way that Brandon Cooper has kind of talked about PMRE in the last few years, I think he's kind of gone through a bit of this, what is our story? And I think you can look at the difference in the marketing for PMRE now as opposed to 3 or 4 years ago. And I think it goes to even the change of the name where it was PFRE and now it's PMRE because media is such a big part of it. But Brandon's really telling that story now.
Well, so, guess who helped him with
you can
that?
Look at their marketing and let me think. Would it be? I'm going to take a wild stab that it was you.
It was me. So, I think he was privy. Like he had known about this kind of storytelling framework in marketing, and he heard me on another podcast and said, "Okay, I can't launch this website with this copy that I have here. We need to refresh this messaging." So we worked together. Took several hours, developed the messaging, reflected that on the PMRE website, and so. It's much more engaging. It speaks again to what you all want, the attendees, what you need, what the benefits, what you're going to get out of it. And also making it much simpler to engage, simpler to sign up, get involved, easy to understand. So it turned out great.
Like I'm saying, we all kind of do the same thing. We're all in the same industry, but within that, what are some of these differentiators that some of us might have that others don't have that we're going to be able to latch on to and get away from the kind of the same message, because we all don't want to come out of PMRE with the same exact message for our business, right?
Well, the good thing is that you all are very local, I'm assuming, right? Like you're working within a local market.
Right.
So
most of us,
most of you are not going to be from the exact same local market. Is that fair to say?
There's some people who are competitors in the same market, but the vast majority, yes.
So if you in your market are someone who has taken the time to develop a messaging strategy that puts your customer as the hero and is telling an engaging story, you're already differentiating yourself because most people in your market are not doing that. So that's a differentiator, is that the way that you talk to your audience, the way that you engage with them, and the content that they get from you. So that's going to help you stand out, for one. Number two is, make sure that you talk about the problem in relation to maybe what they're not getting in the market now. So do we want to throw our competitors under the bus and be a jerk to everyone? No, we don't. We don't want to be like, most photographers are idiots. We're not doing that.
Right. Yeah,
but there is opportunity to use that problem part of the section to commiserate a little bit with them about, whether it's, difficult to, schedule someone with your time frame, or whether it's expensive or the packages don't make sense or whatever. Like, there's a little bit that you can use in that problem to kind of differentiate yourself away from these problems that they may be having. So we can talk through that a little bit at the conference too, specific to what you all do. And then another thing is, this sounds markety-ish, but you can,
well, you're a marketer.
You can talk about differentiators that really aren't differentiators as long as you bring it up as a benefit. So for instance, like a plumber, they can put in their messaging, like, we only use copper pipes. We have an app so you can see where we're going at all times and when we'll be to your house. And we do this. Well, every plumber in the city might do that. But if they're not talking about it in a way that makes the customer the hero, they're not starting out with, the problem so that your customers care about those solutions. If they're not positioning them correctly, then those other competitors are not able to differentiate themselves. And if you grab a hold of those benefits, you can use them as differentiators, even if every other plumber in the city uses copper pipes. Yeah.
Right. We deliver photos that are optimized for the MLS so that you can upload them easily. Yeah. Well, everyone does that. Great. Well, that is great. So that sounds like I definitely need to take some action with all that, which is going to bring us to our action items. And Jessie, I'm going to give you the honor of going last. I'm going to go first with my action item. And it's very simple. But it is going to be get a LinkedIn. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my own damn advice on this action item. By the time this podcast comes out, we're recording this a few days before it comes out, I'm going to have a LinkedIn, and I invite you, our dear listeners, to connect with me and with Jessie, because I will be connected to her. You better be. So, do you have to approve? Do you approve connections, or you just
I don't know. I don't think
connect?
So.
Oh, good. All right, good. I don't know. This is two people speaking out of their ass right now on this podcast. Expert. This is great about LinkedIn. So I'm going to have a link. I'm going to have a LinkedIn by the time this comes out. So I invite you to connect with me there. So I think that action item. So if you don't have one, get one. We'll be buds on LinkedIn and probably shoot some nerd shit back and forth to each other. It's going to be great. All right.
Okay.
Jessie,
is this action item? You just did an action item for you to take. Am I making one for me to take or for everyone else? Okay.
No, it's for the audience. Good. So I'm just going to join our audience in doing this action item.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't really want to do anything after this podcast. I was going to take a nap. So I'm glad that it's okay.
No, I don't. Trust me, I don't either. The whole this is enough.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I would say take a look at your website and just don't even look at the whole thing right now. Don't get overwhelmed. Just open it up and look at the header before you scroll and ask yourself, is it answering these 3 questions? Is it saying exactly what it is that you do, exactly how you can make your reader's life better, and exactly how they can buy it? Are you saying that in a clear, simple way that is going to help them engage with your website? Just do that. If you don't know, if you're struggling, if you can't fix it, reach out to me. I can help you, maybe give you some pointers if you sign up for that free website review.
Yeah. JessieCongleton.com. That's a great action item. I would take it. I just had it, obviously, and you all heard it, and it was really good. So I'm excited for Mark to watch that and then put that in action and do something to our website while I have a drink. Okay. So Jessie, thank you so much. I'm very excited to meet you and meet you in person and hang out with you in Las Vegas. It's always going to be a fun time. I think if after this, you're not buying a damn ticket for this thing, I don't know what else I can do. My God. People, just get in there. PMREconference.com. Thank you so much,
Reed.
Jessie.
I appreciate it.
Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, Our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.